the COVID-19 pandemic has put me and many other people with facial differences in a really unique position we have never been in because of the fact that we have to wear masks in certain social situations. We are able to hide our disability, or at least for me, it's part of hiding that disability. I also have deformed hands and other disabilities, but those other disabilities are mostly not visible from first glance. The point is that facial differences are much more, especially facial paralysis that I have, are much more uncommon than, for example, deformed limbs like hands. And people are usually really insecure when they notice somebody's facial paralysis because they don't know if the person with facial paralysis is just arrogant or they don't show any emotions with their face, basically. And this has put us in a special position because we can hide our disability in a way, and our interactions are actually different than what they have been before the global pandemic, because people definitely treat you differently. They are usually less insecure about how to interact with you, and they are they definitely treat you differently. And I would say, of course, this wearing the mask kind of enables somebody with a facial difference to hide their disability or to hide the difference in a way, which is also not good because it's an ableistic thing, because it's kind of signalizes that that you feel ashamed of your disability, and that you have to hide it from people, which is basically not a good mindset, and I wouldn't support this mindset when somebody expressed some thoughts similar to that towards me. But at the same time, I can totally understand that mindset, trying to come across as normal as possible. And I'm also guilty of doing that. I'm also guilty of, on Zoom meetings, I'm guilty of turning off my camera and only contributing when talking with the camera off still. I'm totally guilty of that. And so yeah, it's the pandemic has been offering a really interesting and unique perspective of social interactions, for me at least, and probably also for many more people who have facial differences. And this is it's a really interesting time to be in right now, because now, even though the pandemic is far from over, I think, there are more and more situations, especially if you're vaccinated like me, you can take your masks off. Like, for example, in some classes, when you have classes at university again, that when you have 12 people or less in a classroom, you can take off your masks. And yeah, it's really, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be a really confusing thing to experience for other people, because I've been having on a mask for however long I've been in a classroom with them, and this is probably gonna be a little bit shocking for them, because I don't have any, because there were obviously no indications that I had facial paralysis, because with the mask on you don't see anything, right? And it's gonna be a really tough situation for me, I think. But I think one of the things I want to say about in this video is that some of those people who are opposed to wearing masks have this horrible argument that wearing masks is really harmful for kids because they can't see other people's facial expressions anymore, and that they would feel really confused, and that would damage them psychologically, and so on and so forth. And what I really find so harming about this is kind of undermining kids' ability to adapt to a situation, to a changing situation, or a unique situation, because with people with facial paralysis, you also don't see facial expressions, because they can't show any facial expression, because their face is literally paralyzed, hence the name. But yeah, it's basically, it's also basically hurtful for people like me, because there are so many other ways how to express emotions, right? You can express emotions with by your body language, or how you use your voice, or how just by saying today I'm feeling very happy, or something like that, or just laughing. I mean, you don't have to smile to be happy, or to express happiness in a way. So yeah, I hope this was not too much all over the place, but I just wanted to bring into perspective my own unique point of view on wearing masks and the pandemic. Because I'm actually guilty of wearing masks when in situations where it's really not necessary. For example, when I just go for a walk in the city where I go to college, without, where I might run across people, a lot of people, and so not to, so that people would notice my disability, or my facial paralysis. So yeah, so maybe this is some food for thought for you. I don't know. But I just wanted to talk about this topic, because I think I am in a really unique situation with this, right? So thank you for your attention, and I'll see you next time whenever I feel like doing something else productive for YouTube, because I'm mostly being productive these days for Reddit, basically. So yeah, thank you for your attention, and I'll see you soon, I hope. Goodbye.